Good evening and welcome to the earnings review, the show where we give you tidbits into company financials and operational insights. Let's get down to business. On the card today is Africa's only listed crocodile breeder, Padenga Holdings Limited. The group owns crocodile farms in Kariba, and they're one of the world's leading suppliers of premium quality crocodilian skins. The group has made a series of giant leaps over the past 24 months, which of course has set it on a new trajectory, diversifying its business footprint into mining. Padenga recently migrated from the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange to the newly established Victoria Falls Stock Exchange. Padenga swooped on Dallaglio about 2 years ago, taking a 50.1% stake in the mine. Dallaglio owns 100% of two lucrative mining assets, Padenga Peerless Mine and a Eureka mine. The recent commissioning of the Eureka mine is one of the most notable milestones that the company achieved this year. The other two mines under the group's name are still under development. Padenga's Chief Finance Officer defines the group's new trajectory to be more of an export-oriented business. Enjoy the show. We are at Padenga Holdings Limited, where we are sitting down with the group's Chief Finance Officer, Oliver Kamundimu. Oliver, thank you so much for inviting us into your corporate home.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the commissioning of the Eureka mine.
Thank you. It is indeed a milestone in our lives.
So, talking about the commissioning of Eureka, how important is that in the future of the company?
It is very important. As you are aware, Padenga invested quite a bit into the mining business. And as such, when we invested, all the money that we invested went into kitting out that new mine, refurbishing it, and bringing it online brings into fruition our vision for the investment. And we're looking at getting into full production by beginning of the new year, hitting our targets, monthly production there.
Okay. Talking about production targets, you are 57 kgs short of your production target at your Padenga Pearson mine. What contributed to that?
Two issues mainly. There was the heavy rains in December going into January, February, which flooded part of the mine. And secondly, the mining methods that had been used in the past were not the best methods. So in order to access the good ore, we had to do a lot of other work, such that our stripping ratios were high. We had to mine a lot of ore in order to get the gold. That's we are rectifying that now and mining correctly for the future of the mine.
So those are the measures that you're putting in place to stop that from happening again? That's
correct.
Okay. Would you like to divulge a bit into the mining practices you're putting in place?
What we're doing at Padenga Peerless Mine, two things. We're planning for the rains. We're making sure that our drainage works well, even if there's flooding. We've got systems that will channel the waters out so that we continue, our production will not be affected this rainy season. And looking into the future of that mine in terms of mining correctly and making sure that the strip ratios are okay, we're actually looking at going underground, introducing underground mining at Chegutu earlier than we had anticipated. This will result in our ore grade improving quite significantly, and we will be more profitable mining underground than the current open cast mine.
Okay. So Fidelity Life Print is privatized. They now have their own gold refining inside, right? What does that speak to say for the gold production in the country?
I think it was a very important move in that the major players in the gold industry in Zimbabwe are now going to be the owners or part owners of that refinery company that buys the gold. And they are going to be involved in the decision making that goes on in that company. So that's a great move for government and a great move for the gold producers.
So you're also a gold producer at Padenga. Does that have any impact on you as a company?
It gives us a lot of comfort that our colleagues are involved in the decision makings of what affects us as producers.
All right. So let's just bring it back to your crocodilian operations a bit.
Right.
Your now crocodile business registered a loss of over $2.5 million, and this is the first loss we've recorded in such a long time. Right. What drove the narrative?
That loss is mainly arising from the fact that we have a class of skins that do not have a market anymore. Any skins that are over centimeters in belly width, the customers are not taking anymore. So we had to do some fair value write-downs on those. They would have been previously fair valued. Now, because the market there is not so strong, we're having to write down the fair value. But at operational level, before those sort of balance sheet issues, we would have made a trading profit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then this loss also coincides with the total loss that you recorded of $12.7 million as well.
That's
Does
correct.
this loss position also speak to the changes that are taking place in your company?
Yes, the losses, there's the 2.8 from the crocodilian business, then the alligator business also recorded a small loss.
Yes.
And then the mining contributed the bigger loss because of the production issues that we talked about at Pixton PLS mine, the poor ore grade, and the fact that we had staff already for Eureka mine adding on to the costs, but that Eureka was not yet contributing anything in terms of production.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's what generated that big loss.
All right. So how are you faring on the international markets, and with how useful has been your ICFA certification been?
Okay, the market for skins has, like everything else, been affected by COVID.
Yeah.
It's now even more difficult to sell our crocodile skins. But what we have noticed is the top quality skins are still selling. There's still a market for that.
Right.
We've got an order from our customer for current year, which is the same volume as prior, but it has to be the correct quality. If the quality just dips a little bit, you're not able to sell those skins.
Okay.
And then in terms of our ICFA certification, the market is going into a situation where if you don't have that certification and you don't belong to any other organization that is equal standards, and otherwise you're not producing to those particular standards as stipulated by ICFA, you will not be able to sell a single skin.
Okay.
The market is currently oversupplied, and there is pressure from the anti-utilization lobby, and the customers have to demonstrate that they are buying from customers who are farming in a humane way, following recognized standards. So that membership of ICFA has put us in very good stead in terms of being in a position to sell going into the future.
Okay, I realize. So let's go abroad a bit at your Taylor Creek Ranch in Texas.
Right.
You recorded that there was a dip of 90% in alligator skin sales, right?
Right.
What is happening there? What's happening at that ranch?
Okay, the market for the watchband skins initially got flooded. The margins initially were so good when we went in that a lot of players, new players came in, and a lot of alligator egg collections over the ranches there. And we got into a situation where as COVID hit, supply was more than demand. And that COVID exacerbated the situation. And our customers started placing orders for less and less skins at lower prices. If you've been following our results, that operation has made losses for the past 3 years.
Yes,
So we have made a strategic decision to mothball it, stop, virtually scale down quite significantly on operation, just leave the breeder operation running and not take in any new livestock.
Right.
We're going to observe how the market unfolds over the next 2 years in that state, and then we pick it up from there if the market improves.
So that means to say if the market does not improve, you might dispose of that ranch?
We might actually dispose of it or totally close down.
So then after closing it down, do you have any prospects of investing in another mine abroad or internationally?
At the moment, we are looking at a number of options. We don't have anything solid, but in terms of our investments, once we have bedded down the investment that we have made into the mines, and the gearing on our balance sheet improves as we generate cash from the mines and from the crocodile business, we're obviously looking at more investments. We are a growing company, and having operated as far afield as America, and we sell into Europe, our investment options are not geographically bound.
Okay.
We will invest anywhere in the world.
Okay, impressive. So how can we describe Padenga now? Is it a crocodilian business that has some operations in mining, or is it now a mining business with operations in crocodilian farming? Well, this is of course coming from the makeup of your revenue, saying that your mining is dwarfed revenue from the crocodilian and alligator business.
The description of our business now and into the future is a business that harnesses local natural resources for the export market.
Okay.
So we are an export company.
You are just an export company.
We will harvest what is there to be harvested. We will grow
Okay.
and harvest and export.
Okay.
So in terms of revenue, currently the mines will generate more, but in terms of profits, the crocodiles will generate more for current year.
All right.
But going into the future, the picture will switch to, I think mines will contribute more from probably next year or 2023.
Okay, we'll be looking at that.
Yeah.
So let's talk of social corporate responsibility. You know, with Padenga now being part of a huge game changer when mining is concerned, how has that mining business been able to sustain some economy, some societies, in where you opened up your mine?
Okay, as you're aware, a place like Gurue, there's hardly any business that goes on there. So we have gone in there, we've set up a professionally run company, and we now employ more than 300 people at the mines, and that has downstream effects in terms of the other businesses trading there. We contribute towards the social development of that particular area. We involved in schools there, just like we are in Kariba and in Chegutu as well, where we operate. And a lot of other things, like when COVID hit, being a company that's operating out there where there are no other big companies operating, we had to take the lead in terms of making sure that there's enough materials and information to fight COVID. For example, we would sponsor the local radio stations to run programs with the local doctors, and as well as provide sanitizing materials to the whole community. Yeah.
Box standard. So back to that mining business again. With the strengthening price of gold, we've seen gold prices rocketing up. What does that mean for Padenga?
Obviously, it means improved margins, and it means that even we will get the return on our investment faster than we anticipated if the prices hold where they are at the moment. When we did the projections before our investments, we were looking at a price of 1,500 was the prevailing price when we made the decision to invest. Now that's improved all the way to 1,900 at some point. It's settling it between 1,700 and 1,800. So we're still ahead of our projections, which is very good for us. Okay.
So seeing that gold prices, if they continue rising like that, does Padenga plan to invest in any other mine or acquire any other mine?
Like I said, when we've bedded down these two, and they're producing well, and we have fully kitted them out, we will definitely look for more assets to run. Okay, so we see that you just recently listed on the VFEX. Can you walk us through the decision to list on this foreign denominated bourse? First of all, this is very good for our investors in that they now have an asset that's US dollar denominated. Its price is known at any given time. If they decide to sell, they are receiving their money in US dollars. Any dividends that we pay in future, we're going to be paying in US dollars, so people can really plan forward in terms of their investment, what they're getting, what they're likely to get in future. And also for the operating companies, we are going to retain more of our US dollars because of the incentives offered to companies that are listed on the VFEX. For the new mine Eureka, it's considered to be all that is incremental production. So that comes in at 100% retention. With our crocodile business, we intend to increase the value we bring back to our export value, basically from next year to improve, but I'm seeing more improvement in 2023 in terms of our turnover numbers. So that as well, whatever incremental we generate there, we'll be getting 100% of that, and that does help our cash flows and there are no issues of differentials in rates. We know exactly how much we're getting.
Okay.
So those are, in a nutshell, were our major reasons for listing on the VFEX.
Oh, that was a power move.
Yeah.
So let's talk Padenga 5 years from now. Where do you see yourselves as a company? Where you stand? Well, that's of course looking at all this that's happened in the last 18 months. Can we expect more to happen in the next 5 years?
Yes, we definitely are going to be a big company. We are going to be generating hundreds of millions of dollars. We probably will have a profit probably approaching 100 million, if not over that, in 5 years' time.
Okay.
Yeah, and we will have another business besides the mines and the crocodile businesses.
Well, the future does sound exciting with Padenga.
Definitely, we are a growth company, and we would like to see it happen.
Well, thank you so much, Oliver, for sitting down and having this conversation with us today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Equity Live presents the complete online interactive presentation solution. Hosting AGMs, media and analyst briefings has never been this simple, efficient and affordable. Communicate globally through a combination of high-definition video and your prepared multimedia presentation from any location of your choice. Interact with your invited participants from all over the world in question and answer sessions and voting sessions in real time on our safe, secure, and affordable platform. Contact Equity Live for a free customized demonstration. Equity Live, real-time presentation solutions.
Well, there you have it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also follow us on Twitter, that's at Equity Live and at Equity Access. Our website is at equityaccess.net. Thank you for watching. Until next time, ciao.